What's up, gang? Carlton Flowers here, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And I wanted to bring a late night crypto report to you featuring the one-day chart of Bitcoin and some of our top 100 projects that we are all interested in, so I can show you some indications that should give us a little bit of a clue to know what's going to happen next. We've got a red candle forming right now as Bitcoin is on the decline. I was following the 4-hour chart all afternoon and all night long, and then I finally flipped to the 1 day to see if we were on an uptrend or a downtrend cycle with the stochastic, because we are dipping down very low on this 4-hour. So I wanted to see where this cycle was within the overall cycle, because 6 of these cycles occur within one cycle on the 1 day chart. So that's when I pulled it up, and lo and behold, I noticed right off the bat that we've got this big fat crossover about to happen right there. We see where the fast line, the blue line, is about to cross over the slow line, the orange line. And then we see down here on the MACD that we're kind of at a peak for what this could be called, this little bitty peak here with the histogram. It looks like the most recent histogram candle here. If we zoomed it up, you could see it, that it's either at the same level or lower than the previous. And it looks like the blue fast line on the MACD oscillators is at a peak and will probably be approaching the orange slow line. So if in fact we do get this crossover to happen, we could cycle down like this. Now, sometimes we can fake. So if we look at the previous action here, we looked like we were going to cross over here. It faked us out and went back up. And then we crossed over again right here, and it went on down, and we got a full cycle to the bottom of the 0 to 20%, which is the oversold zone. So if this crossover does hold, then it looks like we will continue down into oversold zone here, and our overall action will still be bearish. We will be within the limits of this bearish parallel trading zone that we violated the bottom of last week. We poked through the bottom right there, but then we came right back through it here. But notice that we did get rejected at this support resistance zone right there. And if we look to see what the prices are on that support resistance zone, the bottom of it is roughly at, say, 3,800, and the top of it is roughly at 38,830. We came up on this and we got rejected. We bumped our head on the ceiling, and now we're working our way down, and we're coming down to the next support resistance zone right here. So when you zoom into the 4-hour, you see that we fell from this volume node that's sticking out, and we went right down to this volume node that is sticking out. If we fall below this one, there's a slip zone down here where we don't have much popular trading volume. So if this momentum continues, we could slip and slide and drop down. I am surprised that we got as much side banding as we did since the bottom right here when we touched on, what was it, 33, I think. Let's see, where's the bottom of that candle? 34,000. I don't know if we did drop below that. Let's clear out the chart so we can see this. In fact, we'll just look at the 4-hour briefly so we can tell when that bottom was. Let's zoom this up, and now we can see it. The bottom of the slide last week was at 32,988. So we did break just below 33,000 for a brief moment. And then we have been in this side banding-ish uptrend ever since, kind of like this. But now that we have arrived at this volume node right here, it looks like we could be set up to dip back down and retest this zone first, and then this zone second. We'll have to just wait and see which one that it's going to be. So the one that we have just below the top of the support resistance zone is at 36. If we fail that, then we move down to test 35,720. If we fail that, we test the lower boundary of the parallel bearish trading channel If we break that, then we move back down here to test 32,803. We fail that, it's 32. And beneath that, I don't have anything. Well, let's look on the 1 day and see if there's something beneath that. No, there is not. I'm going to call 32,000 the bottom for me just to play it safe. And that's not a prediction. What this means is it's a strategy that I'll plan to DCA like crazy if the price happens to make it that low. That doesn't mean that that is my prediction for a bottom. And for everybody that is out there making their predictions, they don't know what's going to happen. Now, for those of you that are concerned of whether or not we are in a bear market or a bearish trend or moving into crypto winter, you need to just chill out, literally, because we don't know what's going to happen. The difference between those three things, a bear market is a certain length of time, like a cycle, a full cycle of the 4 cycles in a market. A bearish trend is just downtrending for a period of time. A crypto winter is when we have overall downward action for a period of years. I don't think that we're in that. And we could be in a bear market, but we don't know how long the bear market would be. It could be a few weeks. It could be a few months. We don't know. Whatever the case, either way, it doesn't matter because it's a blessing the lower that it gets because we're going to be able to scoop up alts and invest. For the long-term investors, it does not matter. It only really matters for those of you who bought at the peak and FOMO'd buying into a run, which is the cardinal rule. Never buy into a run. All right, so that's the 1 day chart for Bitcoin. We know what to expect, and I will really start DCAing once we get down into the region of 32,000 to 30,000. I'll pretend that that's the bottom. If it goes below that, all the better. If we can get down to 20 something, that's great. I'll buy more. But I don't want to get left behind if we bounce out of, say, this bottom support resistance zone. And then I want an arrow there. Here we go. And then all of a sudden a bull market ensues or resumes or a bullish trading channel. The last time Bitcoin made it to 30, I thought it was going to correct to 20, and I didn't do any DCAing, which I should have done. I'm not making that mistake again, so I'll just pretend in my mind that 32 is the bottom. That way, I don't get left behind if it really is the bottom. Now then, let's clear that out and we'll look at a few other charts. How about XRP? Is in a nice downtrend. No action here. Crossover on the stochastic. MACD is looking like an overall bearish trend as the oscillators are dipping down lower and lower and lower. This thing has fallen below the volume node at 60 cents. So where it ends up, nobody knows. It could continue on down into the 40 cents area for all I'm concerned, for what I see here on the chart. We just don't know, especially with that lawsuit dragging on. Ethereum is at 2,500. If we fail 2469 at the peak of this node, we're going to go back down and test this support level at 2311. If that fails, 2141 is in play. We drew these up on the last live stream. I'm going to hopefully get a live stream in tomorrow night, Monday night. So be on the lookout if you want to ask questions or ask me to look at certain projects. Litecoin looking weak. We had several fake outs here on the stochastic, and now it has crossed over bearish. And I think this MACD is generally bearish, and I don't know if this histogram is going to make it into the green area or just start a new hump down here with red bars underneath the zero line. Matic is looking bearish with a crossover right here on the stochastic and a very bearish looking MACD where these cycles aren't even making any green bars. They just touch on the zero and go back down. And it looks like we're going to do that again right here. I hope Matic does make it below the current node. It's sitting at the node at 154. The next one is the point of control price at $1.33. Solana has busted below 90. And it looks like we could be slipping down to the next volume node of $72. It looks like a crossover on the stochastic, even though it is generally on the rise here. This could cross over and we could languish down here in the oversold zone. Overall, we can see a general trend from this MACD peak to a lower peak to a lower peak to a lower peak. Overall, it is bearish. And this is the 1 day chart, so I don't see this turning around anytime soon. Cadena is about to cross over on the stochastic. There was some talk about it making it up to this volume node at 11 bucks. I don't see it happening. I'm thinking that we fall off of this node and we start to head to the point of control price. It could head right back down to 2 bucks, depending on how severe the Bitcoin correction is. There's a chance that we could get hung up at $3.70, but it is looking like it's going to be sliding. Flux, $1.47. Crossover on the stochastic, bearish overall MACD. We're about to fly into the slip zone on the one-day chart. If that happens, we could fall all the way back down here to where this 200 exponential moving average is, and that would save us at around $1.28. But it's also possible to fail that. We don't know. Once you slide into here, who knows? We could be right back down here to this peak node at 44 cents. Wishful thinking, and if it does happen, I'm loading up. But for the current moment, it is looking bearish. Let me see what Link is doing. Chainlink tried to make a little rebound, and we got a big fat red candle mirroring Bitcoin. Stochastic has not crossed over yet, but it's looking like it's going to happen. MACD looks like we're going to get across over here and try to work ourselves up, but with the histogram approaching zero, with this looking like it's weakening with the blue line curling over, I don't know if this histogram is going to make it up to print some green bars. Slightly bearish, but we might fight all the way back up to the 50 EMA at around 19 bucks before that starts to slide again. AMP at 2.8 cents. Crossover here on the stochastic. It's going down. We fall below this volume node. It's going to be time to get you some cheap AMP. OMI looking good overall in an uptrend, and it looks like we're headed back towards the point of control price on this chart, which is 0067. If it holds that, we're still moving up, or it might come down and test this previous support resistance zone at 0.0056. Stochastic crossover right there. So we could be headed down all the way to this oversold zone. If we get a full cycle, we might test one of these lower support lines. CRO is at 40 cents. Stochastic crossover is about to happen, looking very bearish. I would imagine we'll get a chance to come down here to this 34-cent node or lower. Is there anything else I want to show? Yes, I do. HTR, Hathor, is looking very bearish. We got a bargain because we're trading below the point of control price of 72 cents, and it's currently at 59 cents. What a bargain. Stochastic crossover, sinking down lower, looking very nasty, and a death cross about to happen as the 50 EMA is about to drop or cross and drop below the 200 EMA. I don't even see any volume nodes below this point of control price. So, oh, there it is. Now that I pull in enough price history, there's one right there. 45 cents is a possibility. I'm going to look to accumulate and jump back in. I sold out at $2. I had originally bought in at $1. Okay, well, there's a couple others. Filecoin is bleeding out. Crossover on the stochastic. It might be going lower. And who knows? I don't know what price it could be. It looks like it's already at a bottom, but it could get down further into the teens. And we'll just look at two more. We'll look at Gala Games and Ethereum name service. Gala is, I don't know what it wants to do here because the stochastic looks like it crossed over and then it crossed over again. We got a head fake. If it languishes down here in the oversold zone, we could test that point of control price and come down to the support level at 9.7 cents, which that would be a tremendous bargain. Last but not least, Ethereum name service is $17.99. There's going to be a crossover happening because we've got two red candlesticks here on the price line. And if that happens, we're going to fall below this node. And I don't know what'll happen after that. We're just in reverse price discovery, which means that we'll be discovering lower prices where it has never been before. So after this crossover, we can just wait and watch and see how cheap this sucker gets. All right, well, that's all. I just wanted to update you on what I see happening in the next day or two. Overall, bearish. Let me know if you would like to join me live tomorrow, and we will see what we can do. Like and subscribe if you have not already, and please share with a friend and help to support the channel. This is Carlton, and that's all I've got. We'll see you next time.